play as standalone. Or let's actually play as a client. Okay, and we can attack. Okay, we can jump. We have a roll. Have some basic IK. Okay, let's maybe duplicate those two. And let's maybe tilt this a bit so it's actually aligned. Okay, that's better. Okay, honestly, whatever. We won't probably need those. Let's go back here. Let's make some space. Let's move our start point somewhere closer. By the way, if anyone is here, I would appreciate it if you tell me if you can hear me without any problems. Okay, so let's jump in. What do I want to do today? I created a list of things I want to achieve. So it's here. I'm doing everything on dev azure.com. So I have my repository here, but I also have my backlog of my project here as well. So besides the backlog I've made in in here, like I showed you already, which is just a general concept, I'm also tracking some simple tasks for the project. So this is what I'll be doing today. So I'll be adding turn in place because right now we are strafe walking backwards and I want to be able to turn. I will be doing block as a move, which is exclusive, and you can either attack or block, not both at the same time, obviously. I'll be adding a health bar and a stamina bar, and then we'll be doing a universal component that will be responsible for health, stamina, damage, speed, stats in general, death event, hit reaction, all that stuff. And we'll be working on AI. And regarding the AI, here are some tasks I want the AI to be able to complete, and I know nothing about AI, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. So let's get back to the project. Let's focus on what we have in store first. So let's go here and go to our gameplay and open our character template. And now let's also open our project settings, and inside the project settings we need to go into inputs, and we need set destination. Well, I don't think we need this one at all. We do need light attack, heavy attack. We don't need fire. We do have jump. I sound low. Let me try to fix it. But I'm afraid that there will be a lot of noise if I increase the mic sensitivity. So you tell me if this is better or worse. Okay, and we need a turn in place, and let's give it a key, which will be just Q on keyboard, and on gamepad it will be left shoulder, for example, and our left trigger could be sprint or something like that for now let's just keep it with this. Now better. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we go here and now we need to add this input. So we're not doing this anymore, we're doing this. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's format everything and let's yeah, it will be in inputs. This is just movement and jump. Awesome. Let's add a event turn in place, which is an action event, and once I press this key I want something to happen. I want our animation master component and I want to play networks montage, and I want to play left or right 180 turn. So let's go to our oh, okay, it won't be as easy because we need to know what base pose we have. So it will be more complex than that. So you have to, okay, we already have this reference, get base pose, and based on that base pose we need to do a switch, and there is no default, but there is animation base Cobalt longsword. So that's the only one we have right now. So if we are in this pose, we want to play one of two montages that we'll make right now. So let's go to longsword, animations. We need root motion 90, no 180. Okay, so this is hit and this is those start walking. How do they look like? Oh, okay. So we just need this one probably. Okay, let's just make those and create any montage. No, what did I do? I made composition, not montage. Delete those two. 180 once more, and create Anim montage. Yeah, those two. Open them up and let's make them full body. So slot, full body, slot, full body. Just save everything. And select, and now we have inside our combat we have this function for direction. So this is the input direction. Okay, input direction. So it's here, and it's here. Okay, so just input direction, ignore error. Okay, why not? Let's go into, we can close all those. Let's go into inputs. Let's give ourselves input direction. Let's go here. Let's make yet another switch. And let's just add those directions. So you got direction, back, forward. Yeah, let's just make all of them left, right, stationary. And now we'll have those two montages. Which one will be 180 left and 180 right? Okay. So if your direction is, for example, backward and left, you will turn right or left. If it is forward or right, you will turn right. If you are stationary, you will turn always, let's say, right. And if you are in error, something else will have to happen. So what will have to happen is that we go into event graph and our unused set actor rotation to acceleration, and we'll basically set control rotation is locally controlled. Well, yeah, we'll need this as a function. So set actor rotation to acceleration. Okay, let's make it a function. Set rotation to movement, and it's just this. And what's the problem here? Oh yeah, we don't have a target, which is this component. We don't ignore air because we'll be doing set rotation in when it's in air. And let's see if this works. Oh, and also those animations, are they root motion already? Yes, they are root motion enabled. That's great. So let's now just play. This is network play on dedicated server, and I press Q and I do this, and oh, and nothing happened. And I think I get why. But if I press Q while in air, I will properly change my direction. Okay. You know what, maybe I'm overcomplicating things. Maybe I should just ignore this, ignore everything, and just do this. Maybe we don't need pretty montages for it to work. Maybe just simple things works the best. Okay, but this is towards, okay, I want to just swap, so I want to make it -80. So this is set rotation to movement, and I want to make another one, which will be basically similar. Not exactly. Let's take all this, and let's make a new function, and we'll say rotate 180. Just like that. And yeah, only locally controlled, side view, camera, character movement, acceleration. No, so we'll do it differently. We'll get controller, get rotation, get control rotation. Okay. We're just changing z, right? So we can split this value and make rotator, which is the same, and this is just reverted. I think this should work. Rotate 180. Let's see. Okay, this is empty now. So let's go into inputs and let's do this and see what happens. Oh, that's big. Okay, it reverted, it reverted, it reverted, it reverted. So that's cool. Or we can actually make sure that it works at all angles, and we can and do combine rotators, and the second rotator will be just 180. and make this the new rotation. I think this is the better option. Okay. But now I want to be able to do it when I'm standing in place, so I don't need all this, and I don't need this, and I don't need this at all. I don't need this. Format graph, this is everything. So now even when I'm standing in place, this should work perfectly. But the turn in place animation is not fast enough, because I think we set very high turn speed. Yeah, let's make it 360. Okay. There's no way that our turn in place could keep up with this. Okay, but we don't want this to happen. So we want to disable attacks while we are in the rotation. So how to know that we are in the rotation? Well, we have this can attack, and we just need to make an end statement and make sure that get actor rotation, get control rotation, and make sure that they are equal, or well, that they are equal, that's it. Because now I can attack, but while I am turning, I won't be able until I finish rotating, and that's it. So turning, and now I can attack, and I can do all my combos. Okay, awesome. That was easy. Now let's give it more of like make it less precise, because sometimes something can happen that our rotation will change. So we got this, so let's go into our board, and we have turn in place. Well, it's not in progress really, I think it's done. So this is done. Now let's do blocking. This is the next one. So we go into combat. I sounded junky. What? I'm just mumbling a lot. I'm not, speaking loudly and clearly for hours while working is exhausting as hell. And this is a public stream, and I'm also doing private streams and stuff for Patreons and other stuff and consultations, and I'm just constantly talking. It's really exhausting. Okay, what else do we need? So now combat, we need block. So to make block, we need an action input block, and this will be the right mouse button, and it will be also right trigger on the gamepad. So this is blocking, a bit like in Soul Calibur default inputs. So block, these old Soul Caliburs, I don't know the new ones. The last one I played was 4, I guess. I think it's like 7 now, I don't know. So now block, we're gonna have to make a function can block. Make it pure, and for now it's just true. So for sure, no, we don't need that. What we need is actually or is playing montage is any montage playing? Not. So we can block if we don't have montage animation playing. Simple as that. And also we can go to our get attack and get our rotation and make sure that we can block only when the rotation is same. So can block, it will be and our rotation is same for the controller and the pawn. So we got can block. We can go into event graph, make a branch, call the can block here, and if we can block, then we want to, well, play block montage basically, and we want it to be oh, there's so many of them. Interesting. Impact, loop, start. There's a lot. Let's open all of them. I have no idea how they work. Okay, so this is block start. We don't need that. We are just blending animation. This is the longsword block loop. This is the one we'll probably be using. This is block impact. Okay, cool. And this is block end. Okay, and those animations, what are they? So this is block additive, I guess, but this is not additive, so I don't get it. Okay, so this is blocking instantly, basically. Okay. Okay, nice. Nice, but this is not animations we'll be using, most likely. Or maybe, I don't know yet. Okay, I am usually overcomplicating things, so what we need is just the block loop. Let's just make it an Anim montage, and let's make this montage full body, and just save it. Make sure this is root motion. Enable root motion. Okay, that's fine. And inside this montage, what we need is add another default. Like this is how is it called? Section. So the default section is just section that every montage has, and you can have different sections. Like for example, montage for reloading shotgun would have a start, loop, which is looping, and then end. And the way you make those montages into loops is by specifying what section comes after another. So you can have different animations in different sections, and you can have multiple animations in one section, and you have multiple slots per multiple animations in multiple sections. You can have very complex montages, but we don't need that right now. We just need this one looping montage, and that's it. And once we're going to play this one, it will just go forever until we release blocking. Animation master component and do play network montage, this one, and this is true, and stop montage. You know what, this should actually come from the weapon. Do we have our character stats, weapon, get weapon mesh, get okay, because we're not using this anymore, right? Let's go into our character stats, just edit it. We have this weapon class variable, and oh, I think we are using it to spawn this weapon. Find reference, set, yeah, so this is just storing this, and this is the weapon, so we can access the weapon directly. That's going to be a lot easier, honestly. So weapon is just weapon template, awesome. So we need to go into our blueprints, weapons, and weapon template, and we need another variable which will be called block. And it's also Anim montage, and it's public, and it's replicated so it can't be changed, and by default it can be the block loop, because why not. And let's go back here, save everything, go into our character, let's get our weapon, but not here, can attack, can block, event graph here. So we just have to take our weapon, say block, and just push it here, and cancel, wait, end montage, finish montage, cancel montage, how was it? Montage, stop Anim montage, yeah, this one. And this is just a character function, so it's easy to call. You can do it directly from here. And is that all? Let's see. Okay, I'm blocking. Oh, something breaks very much. Oh, okay, because we haven't stopped montage on the server, so we're still blocking. Oh, so we need to do this custom event, and say, you know what? We have play network montage in our Anim master component. Let's go there, edit it, and let's make a new one. And let's make a custom event and say stop network montage. And it will be the same as start network montage, basically. Okay, so it's this. And then okay, so this. So when you do say local controlled, we don't need player controlled. So if we are local controlled, then do stuff, and then on execute all, do stuff only if you're not local control, and on server do it anyway. So on the server we're doing it twice really in this composition. Okay, let's do it. So let's say that if we are local control true, then stop montage, and it's this montage, and then we need another custom event and call it server stop montage, and it's reliable on the server, and just say another event really, custom event, because multicast happens on the server anyway, so no need to run it on the server. multi-stop montage. I will have to push this change to the general repository. And input will be montage, Anim montage, object reference, and just do this. Oh, and we also need this, and only from false, and this. So this will do multi-stop montage, and it will go here, and this will go into server stop montage, and it pushes this. So this locally controlled stop montage server goes into multi say not local, then stop. Okay, this is everything. Stop networked montage. Stop network montage. Okay. And the montage is this montage. Block. Let's see if it works, or do I really have to play it on the server as well? Bam. Okay. Okay, not in error. I can't block in error. That's another thing we need to make sure. So can block, falling, not. Okay. And let's go back here. Okay, it's not playing montage, but maybe we want to be able to block when attacking, to stop attacking, to start blocking, or not. I don't know. We could use the we could actually use the attack buffer to work with blocking, but let's leave it at this. This is fine. The only thing else we need to do is just say that we are blocking. And just set. Okay, this should be replicated. So if it is replicated, we can set it locally. It won't do anything. We have to do it inside the animation itself. So let's go into our animation. And you know what? We'll just do a notification state, and we have this temporary tag, and we'll say that the tag is combat modifiers. Okay, we don't have this, so combat modifier block will be that. Let's make one. So go into data, open data table, make a new one. Combat modifier, or that could actually even be an ability. Let's see, abilities, common, block. Oh, we got one already. Awesome. Hi. Yeah, I see your chat, so feel free to text me. So we got this. We need to set it from start to stop. Everything. And we'll just add block. And Now when we go to our character template, we can delete this value, and what we need to do is just add function, do blocking, return value is blocking, well, without spaces, and this is a pure function which is public, and what we want to do is get combat tags. Wait, we need to get combat master, get combat modifier tags, has tag exact match, or you know what, not exact match, and it will be ability common block. Oh, thanks, really appreciate that. Okay, so now we have blocking, which is based on gameplay tag, and it's just being added to our combat modifier tags. And as far as I remember, this is the container we are using, so let's make sure, because here has any tag, AGR combat master, combat modifier tags. Yes, this is the one we're using. So we're using the same one, AGR combat master modifier tags. Yes, okay. So now this should be network replicated, and I should be able to call block. Okay, let go of the block. When I'm blocking, I can't move because this is root motion animation. And can I, yeah, I can trigger my rotation, but I can't really rotate while doing that. But I could change that really. I could change that. If I go into my character, let's see how it looks like. If I go into character movement component, I can find this value which is called physics, run physics, no, not this one, allow physics rotation during anim root motion. So this means I can use the built-in rotation that is built into the movement component while performing some tasks. So I can, for example, block, and now I can turn, but he is turning without those steps moving in place. But now I can also turn while attacking, and this is something we don't want. So I guess there is no turning while blocking. You have to first turn and then block, and you will have to, you know, make conscious decision about your positioning forward or backward, and you won't be able to swap it so fast. So now you can just block, unblock, turn, and block again. Okay, and you have this short window when turning that you won't be able to block. So let's go back to our project board. We got blocking, thank you, it's done. Simple UI, health and stamina. Okay, to finish this one, I need to move to this one. So let's do our 3 base statistics, strength, dexterity, and intelligence, and we'll be making everything out of those. So let's go into blueprints, and we have our SS character stats. And right now we only have weapon class, and we don't really have any functions, we don't have any functionality. So let's start working on this one. So we will need strength, which will be just an integer value. We need dex, dexterity, and we'll make intelligence. And we won't be doing anything with this value. We won't be increasing them and decreasing them, but they need to be replicated. So when we are reading the value, the server has absolute authority over them. So those are the base stats. Let's make them category stats. And well, everything is basically config. Let's make it combat. So you have those base values. And based on those values, we should be setting some secondary statistics. So what do we want? We want speed, which is just a rating, so a float. and let's make it 1, and it is absolutely replicated because it will be changeable. We want damage ratio. You know what, this is depending on the weapons, so let's not. Speed, well, speed is depending on dexterity. Do we really need it? Like, if we have 3 base statistics for setup, all we need is actually functions. Yeah, let's just make functions. This one will be called get move speed. Return node, make it pure function, and we'll be taking dexterity. And then let's say that our absolute baseline, okay, let's make a return, which is movement speed, and it will be a float. So this will be base 300 plus dexterity times float, let's say 10. And this should be a global configuration value, but we're not setting global values right now. Okay, so if our dexterity is 1, our speed will be 310, and our animation is adjusting to our speed. So this is movement speed. Let's make another function, attack speed, return value, and our attack speed has an output. It's a pure function, and it is just float of 1 plus dexterity times, again, a value, let's say 0.1. Okay, oh, and this should be get. Okay, let's make another function. This one will be called get max life, and this will be based on strength times a value, and this will be also added to a float, which is the baseline of 100, and let's say strength times 10, and do a return node, and this can be also a pure function, which is public. So this is strength max. So this is max health, but we need also a health tracker, so we'll need health and we'll need stamina. And now those two values will be changing very rapidly, so we want them to be public, but we don't want them to be replicated, because we want them to be able to regenerate independently on tick, for example. So replicating a value that we're changing often is very problematic. Or maybe we don't want it to yeah, you know what, it will be just easier like that. Let's just make them replicated. So strength is this, so this is the max health, and then health, we'll just get health, and we can also add ratio, get life, and to our description of keywords we can add life, health, HP. No, I don't have other ideas. So we'll just take this and divide it by this, and this is the ratio. However, we can always calculate the ratio, but here it is automatically. Like, another calculation of just dividing two floats costs nearly nothing. It comes down to how heavy the thing is. Okay, let's make it like this. So we got get life and get stamina and return, and now we'll get our dexterity, we'll again multiply it by a value, let's say 5, and we'll add a float of 100. You know what, let's make it same as health, so 10. We're not making any classes yet, so we don't have to bother with balance so far. So this is the max value, and we need also current value. So get stamina, and we need ratio, and ratio is just this divided by this, and this is the ratio. Okay. Now let's make it public and pure. Okay, so now we can read those values. We got the base values, we got health and stamina system, and now we need to be able to receive damage. So we go into event graph, and on begin play, like this component doesn't exist if we don't have an owner, right? Because this is an actor component, so we can always call the owner no matter what. So let's call the owner and let's say any damage or any damage, bind damage. Maybe it should be point damage because most likely we'll be taking point damage. Or you know what, any damage, doesn't matter. There are no critical hits, there's nothing like that. So custom event received damage. So once we receive damage, we're taking our health, and this happens only on the server, and we just remove damage from health. Damaged actor, that's obviously our owner. Damage type doesn't matter for us. Instigated by doesn't matter for us. Damage causer doesn't matter to us, at least for now. Set health, and now once we set health, we can do a check if we are alive, right? So to do that, we need to do a few more things. Rep notify. So now on health, we can do something. So when we replicate health, we can do and make an event dispatcher called update health, and again use this category. Do we have no, we don't have. Oh, we only have tooltip. We don't have keywords because I would set some keywords to it as well. So update health means that on rep, when we replicate health to our actor, we can use this to do update health and call this event, and this will notify that our health value has just changed and got replicated to our actor. And this rep notify is happening on the server as well. If you are coding in C++, any rep notify has to be called on the server by hand, and here you actually cannot call by hand rep notifies, and they are being called automatically. So if I try to do this, you can see that this function is not marked as blueprint callable, so I cannot call it in the graph. So I'm setting this health, and also when I'm setting this health, I need to see if my health is actually a positive value, and if it is positive value or not, we're gonna have a variable alive, and alive is boolean, and it is absolutely replicated, and it is also rep notify, and it is combat, and it is public. So when we do this, if it is false, so only when this is false, we're setting alive false. And now we can receive damage and do stuff with damage and change our health only once we are alive. So we're getting alive and doing a branch here. And if it is true, we are updating health and then seeing if our health is above 0, and if it's not, then we are dead. And when we are dead, we go on to here and make another event dispatcher set died. And by the way, event dispatchers, they can have variables in them, but there's no need to use them once we actually know what happened. So on rep alive change, we just call died, and that's it. Okay, and now why did we do that? Because we're going to set up health next. So we set up all this, and now we can set up health. So I already transferred to this pack. Where is it? One of the oldest pack in the universe, really. UI kit, yeah, it was free for the month. Used to be very long time ago, and you got some really nice widgets that are very simple to work with. So we'll just go into side scroller. We're going to make a new folder, call it UI, make it green. We don't have green, but we should. So green 0.5, this is perfect. And inside UI, we need to make a user interface widget and call it, you know what, no. Or you know what, yes, screw it. I'll be just using HUD. Like, I should be using a custom HUD, but I might be using a HUD from Marketplace to do some events and some notifications. So for now, let's just use widgets directly without a HUD class. Like, using a HUD class is a separate tutorial I should be doing. So let's make this widget called UI underscore or WB, like widget blueprint, but I like to use UI. UI, I don't know, UI character. Why not? I don't have much ideas for that. Let's open this one and let's just do user created, and we need not action bars, gradient bars. Yeah, let's see them. It's this one looks like this one looks like this one is nice. Okay, this one looks like this is the next one. This is our stamina for sure. Let's use maybe this one. Doesn't really matter to me. Just delete all of those. Okay, and let's now attach this to the here and make it an anchor here. X is 0, Y is 0. Okay, so let's make start position 0, 0. Let's make it size X 460, Y 40. That's fine. Let's move it to 2020. Awesome. Let's make the same anchor position. Let's move it to 2060. So exactly where the last one is ending. 460 it was, or 450? 460, and let's make it 20 in height. Okay, let's pick a color. So this one will be white, because why not? And we'll call it stamina. And this one will be called health and will be red. Typical. And now to bind them, we go here and say when constructed, owner pawn. So get owning player pawn. So we can get owning player, which is simple, and we can get the pawn of the controller that is owning this player, and we can get component by class, and this component by class will be our SS character stats, and we'll do bind event to update health, add custom event, update health, and now we'll take our this is the T1, so let's go back here, let's rename them. This one will be called health bar, and this one will be called stamina bar. Okay, let's go back here, let's take our health bar and let's say update bar, and the bar ID has to be the same as we made here, so our bar ID is health. Oh my god, let's just call it HP, it's harder to mess up. And new percentage is get life ratio. So okay, this is health, and we need another one. So let's go to our SS character stats and let's update stamina. So we need another event dispatcher called update stamina. And when do we call update stamina? Obviously when stamina rep notify is being triggered. So on rep stamina, we just call update stamina. Okay, and right now we don't update stamina at all. But we'll do it anyway, so we'll do a bind update stamina. Like we don't change the value of the stamina so far, at least. Custom event, oh my god, custom event, and say update stamina. We'll call this, and from here we'll get stamina, and update bar, same event, and the bar name is stamina, and the new percentage is this ratio. So this is stamina, and now we need to init the entire thing, so we'll make a small delay. Yeah, just a small delay, like 0.2, just in case, and we'll do update health and update stamina. So we get the starting values. And in our component, when we begin play, do we have a begin play? Yeah, we have begin play. So this is managing damage. We can collapse it. Okay, so this is manage damage on begin play. And from here we can go into output because we'll be doing more stuff. But on the other hand, we can just do a sequence and we can make manage damage here, and yeah, just why bother. Manage damage, and here after begin play we need to set default values, so set, and what we need is get life and get stamina, just those functions. And we're setting max, and we're setting max, and that's it. And now collapse nodes, set start values. And this should be enough for us to be able to work with it. But now we need to init the, so probably in the temporary, we will, or you know what, in event graph, because it will be in event graph, we need to make a custom event and call it Init Hud, and Init Hud has to happen only on the owning client reliably. And Init Hud will be create widget, and we'll create widget which is our UI character, and it is of class UI character, so we can promote it to variable and say UI widget. And now this has to be player controller 0, because this is being called only on owning client, so always player controller 0 is the owning client. And now this doesn't have to happen always when you do this. You have to do some checks. Like, this is the proper way to do it. You can ignore it, but I prefer to have it done right. And we'll get UI widget. And from this UI widget, we'll say, you know what? We can, instead of getting valid, we just convert to valid get. So if it is not valid, we have to construct it and add to viewport this widget. But if it is valid, then we just have to add to viewport, but not always add to viewport, because we have to check if it is in viewport, because if it is already in viewport, there's no need for it to be in viewport again. So on true, we don't do anything, but on false, we are adding to viewport. So whatever happens, no, it doesn't matter. We can call this from anywhere because it's the same variable. Okay, so this is just Init Hud, and we need to do one more thing. We have to go into our Hud, and here when we have this construction, we need to make a custom event and say re-init Hud, and we need to be able to by hand reinitiate the Hud, because we want, for example, to spawn a new character once we die, and we want our bars to update to the new character. So once you add to viewport, you have to get this widget and say re-init Hud and make it always so. And now when do we want to call Init Hud? That's very simple. We want to use it on possess, and we don't have this event at all. So possess event possessed. So once we are possessing this character with a new controller, we can say Init Hud, and this always happens on the server, and it is initiating the Hud. We can also use another function which is called I think ready to play, or get controller and bind on plane. Okay, no, never mind, this is fine. So this should init the Hud, and it should add it to viewport, and it should make our values maximum values. So there it is. We have a Hud. We can turn in place, and we got blocking. Okay, so we got simple Hud, and I can go into our tasks, and we can say that we have strength, dexterity, intelligence for the character. It's done. We have stamina system. It's done. We have health component. It is done. Manage death event, not yet. Hit reaction, not yet. Base speed, no, not yet. It's in progress. We haven't finished it yet. Base damage, not even started. Manage death, in progress. Simple UI, health and stamina, it is done. So yeah, we already finished 6 tasks and got 2 in the works. Once we finish all those, we will start working on the AI. But I'm taking a short break right now because I need to make a few calls, and I'll be back streaming really soon. Yeah, hi. I see all the chat, and I'm trying to answer any questions if you have them while we are running those. I think that all here will take maybe half an hour, and then we'll be jumping on the AI. So yeah, I'll be back in something around half an hour. Maybe I will eat something and get back to streaming. Thank you for your time. I really enjoy working on this project. It's growing really well. It's growing very slow because I don't have much time to work on it. I usually am working entire day on commission projects, but yeah, I really like this one, and I feel it's actually going somewhere. So thanks, and see you guys soon.